Hello, today we're going to talk about Sushumna Nadi. In the earlier videos we talked about Ida, which is the left side of your body, left nostril. And then we also talked about Pingla, which is the right side of your body, which is your masculine side. Left nostril activates the right brain, which is your feminine side. And the right nostril activates your left brain, which is your masculine side. Today, we're going to talk about how we can get access to the Sushumna Nadi. That's the first step for meditation. We talked about this in the earlier video, that you're breathing in and out from one nostril at a given time, whether it's the right nostril or it's the left nostril. Let's say you're breathing in right now with your right nostril. You're going to breathe with your right nostril for approximately 90 minutes, and then your breathing is going to switch automatically to the left nostril. This is how the body has a homeostasis going on. When the body is too hot, when it's tired, it switches to the left nostril and activates your parasympathetic nervous system, healing response of your body. So as it's transitioning from the right to the left or from the left to the right, it switches for 4 minutes. Both the nostrils are active. So let's say your dominance in the right nostril is 100%, which means you're 100% breathing in and breathing out from your right nostril. As it's transitioning, the dominance would go down to 90% and then 80%. 20% from the left nostril, 80% from the right nostril. And then it goes down again, 70%, and then 30%, 60%, and 40% from the left nostril. Then eventually it reaches, as it's transitioning, 50-50, which means you're breathing in and breathing out from both the nostrils at the same time. And my friends, that's when your Sushumna Nadi is active. It's the best time to meditate. You don't want to engage in any worldly activities at that time. And you can also activate the Sushumna Nadi on demand by just sitting in your meditation and bringing awareness to your breath. You can also do alternate nostril breathing, and that would activate your Sushumna Nadi, which means you'll be breathing in and breathing out from both the nostril. Also means that your left and the right brain come in coherence. And in Vedas they say this is the time to meditate, and this is the beginning of your spiritual journey. Although this 4 minutes happen, the transition happens every 90 minutes, but yogis can induce themselves into this state at will. So the idea is to be able to stay in this. And when you meditate while both the nostrils are active at the same time, that means your meditation would go very effortlessly. So you'll have less thoughts going on in the mind, and as you sit down, you will be able to sit down for longer periods of time, as long as your brain coherence is going on. And then slowly, when the left nostril comes on, the thoughts are going to start coming back in. So the whole practice of meditation is to be able to stay for prolonged periods of time in both the nostrils. And that can only happen when both the left and the right sides of your body, which means the masculine and feminine sides of you, aspects of you, is balanced. See, as of now, in all the previous videos, we only talked about the left side of the body, the feminine, masculine, right side of the body, which means Ida and Pingla. And then once both are balanced, then you have Sushumna active. But we never talked about the elements, and the Nadi knowledge is incomplete without the knowledge of the elements. See, the knowledge of Tattwa is very, very important. And as we go deeper into the aspects of Swara Yoga, we'll start finding out what Tattvas really mean. But for now, we can just say that each tattva, each element, produces different types of breath by influencing the prana in the body. So when a particular tattva, for example, earth or water, is active, it affects our thoughts, physical body, and our capabilities or our interaction with other people differently. So in order to recognize this, like which tattva is active at a particular time, we have to practice something called Tattva Vicharyan. This needs an advanced video. For now, let's just remember that elements is a connection between the left-right nostril knowledge to your chakra knowledge. See, each chakra has a dominant tattva. Elements are also called tattva, and there are 5 of them. The first one is earth in your root chakra. That's why they say when the baby is born, he's connected to the mother earth. The basic necessities, the basic survival, house, shelter, and food. Food comes out of earth. Second one, when we rise above, is called your sacral chakra. And sacral chakra, my friends, is called Swadishtana, is all about relationships, romantic relationships, families, and the element there is water. Water is associated with emotions. See, we have 70% of our body as water, and moon is connected to with our emotions. When there's full moon, the water is pulled from the ocean as tides, and it has the same effect on human beings too. That's why we tend to be more emotional during the full moon time. So that's why water elements goes with the second chakra, sacral. Third is solar plexus, also called Manipura chakra. That's your willpower, your ego. What elements that represents? Fire. So when you have the fire element, which is 4% in the body, balanced, then you'll have more confidence in you. You'll have self-confidence, you'll have good self-esteem. Now, the important thing here is this is the only chakra in the body where all the 72,000 nadis are connected. They join here in the solar plexus. That's why it's called a warehouse of your body, of your pranic body or your subtle body. Now, one more thing I wanted to talk about in the solar plexus is that solar plexus is your battery. When your battery is weak, you would not be able to perform well in materialistic life, worldly life, or in your spiritual dimensions. So the lower chakras, the Mooladhara, root chakra, and your sacral chakra, Swadishtana, are representing your worldly desires. The materialistic is, the first one is the physical preservation, like we said. Second one is your relationships, all worldly desires. But they are fueled by your solar plexus. So when the solar plexus is not good, you cannot do good in your worldly desires either. And your upper chakras, the higher chakras, which are spiritual in nature, the heart chakra, throat chakra, third eye, and then the Sahasrara chakra. Those are also coincidentally fueled by your solar plexus. So the energy, the fueling is coming from your third chakra, the fire. So you can use that fire to fuel your materialistic desires, or you can fuel the same fire to rise up and have your spiritual desires fulfilled. And now comes the fourth element, which is the air element, and that represents the Anahata chakra, which is your heart chakra. Fifth one is your space element, that is represented by Vishuddha or your throat chakra. So that's how the 5 chakras are associated with these 5 elements, and they say the whole universe, including the earth, things you can see and things you cannot see, are all a combination of these 5 elements in different proportions. See, now we have periodic table and we have so many elements. Back in the day, 3,000 years ago, when they created the Vedas, when they channel the Vedas, they talked about the periodic element in terms of 5 elements, Tattwas, and everything, including your body, is a combination of these 5 Tattwas. Earth, 14%, water, 70%, fire, 4%, maybe 6% air, and then rest is the space. Now, quantum physicists are telling us that actually even earth element, even this thing solid, your body, is 99.999% empty, which means it's space. So from this point of view, everything in the universe, the whole world, let's just say Earth, is 99.999% empty. The same way, if you break down the Earth into smaller and smaller and smaller and get to a level of an atom, then quantum physics has already proved that an atom is 99.999% empty. So yogis were able to go inside the atom through inner engineering, and they were able to figure out that there is nothing in the atom. It's just energy, just vibrating. So now an important thing to note is we only have one element, Tattva, active at a given time. Whether it's earth element with your left nostril or your right nostril or both the nostrils. Or it's your water element, it could be with your left nostril, right nostril again, and both the nostrils. Air, fire, and space. So here's another secret. The goal of a yogi or a meditator is to get to Sushumna Nadi with space element. And that's called a samadhi. When you get to that enlightenment stage, you know it already that your Sushumna Nadi is active, both the nostrils are active at the same time with the space element. When the journey starts, the spiritual journey always starts from the lower chakras. So first thing I want to say is that the spiritual journey already starts when you have your Sushumna Nadi active for prolonged periods of time, which means you're breathing in and breathing out from both the nostrils at the same time. Your spiritual journey has begun, but we always start from the beginning. Sushumna Nadi plus earth element. What does that mean? The earth representing the first chakra. So you want to slowly rise above the chakra while you are in Sushumna Nadi. So the first element is earth. Represents your materialistic worldly pleasures, your business, career. So let's say when your Sushumna Nadi is active, although you'll be spiritual aspirant, but your motivation to go about your spirituality is going to be that you want to do better in your business, you want to do better in your career. That would be your motivation drive to be more spiritual. The second state, when your Sushumna is active, but it's with water element, your Swadishtana Chakra. That's when you're driven by relationships. And your whole journey, spiritual journey, starts when you are, when you have a trauma in a relationship. Let's say you have a breakup, and because of the breakup, somehow the circumstances have you contemplate your life in such a way that you start your spiritual journey. I'm sure that happened to a lot of people, including me. When I had a breakup at some point in my life, I started questioning my belief system. I started questioning my life. I started questioning my direction in life. That's when the whole spirituality triggered. So the Sushumna Nadi with water element is gonna be triggered by your relationships. Third one, Sushumna Nadi with fire element. Now again, fire, as I mentioned, fuels your lower chakras and your higher chakras. So when the fire element is active, that means it's all about your willpower. You want to create things in the world, you want to create a legacy, and you want to leave a legacy after you're gone. So the spiritual journey, the motivation behind it is so you can do better in your worldly creations. Fourth, air element. See, as you rise above the materialistic desires, you get to metaphysical, beyond physical, your heart chakra, air. Now that is when your spiritual journey takes off. Then you don't have desires of your carnal desires of physical preservation or relationships or getting more and more in the world and leaving a legacy. All you do is you devote yourself into, see, heart is all about devotion. So when the Sushumna Nadi and air element is active, that's when you change your perspective of meditation from meditating to just devotional. You're all the time doing everything, each and every activity during your whole day as a devotion to God, as a devotion to Almighty, as a devotion to yourself, whatever you consider God is. So that's a different discussion for some other video. But then again, there's another last one called Vishuddhi Chakra. When you get to that level, that's samadhi. It's a dissolution of who you are. It's a dissolution of your ego, dissolution of your desires, even the devotion. It's beyond your devotion. Now when you get to the Sushumna and the space element, anything you desire, first thing, you won't have a desire. But if you do have a desire, anything you desire is going to be fulfilled instantly, instantaneously. So that's the idea of the chakra system. So the journey begins from the lower chakra and we rise up in the elements. So this video I gave you a little different perspective on what chakras are from elements perspective, and that's the real perspective, the tattvas. So when you're talking about balancing the chakra system, we're really talking about balancing these elements of fire, water, earth in the human body and in the subtle body, and then eventually in your causal body. But you'll get to a point when you go beyond the earth, the water, the fire, the air, and get to a place where it's just sound and vibrations. Only the sound would direct you from there. So in this video, I just wanted to give you an idea of what deep spirituality means from Vedic Indian perspective and where Swara Yoga can take us. Right now, we're just simply talking about all these different stages of a human being and how the breath is connected to our chakra, is connected to our subtle body, is connected to our causal body. But eventually, we'll start making videos which are going to do kriyas. Kriyas are exercises, the breathing exercises, which we're going to bring this knowledge which we're gathering from the mind into all the 50, 60 trillion cells in the body. And it's going to become our experience. So stay tuned, my friends. My name is Abhi, and I help you create the life by design.